Okay, so there are a lot of crazy things that have happened over the past 21 years of running my own business. I've had employees that have stolen from me. I had one guy that would take our lawn care equipment. He would go to the pawn shop. He would sell the equipment on Fridays. He would buy drugs. He would buy enough drugs to where he could get high as well as sell enough drugs so he could make enough money to go and buy the equipment back by Monday morning. I've had employees that have fallen off ladders and gotten hurt. I even had one guy on a lawn care crew that ran a zero turn into a lagoon. He left it there, didn't tell anybody that he was leaving, basically quitting, and never showed back up again. Lots of wild things can happen, and we've had our fair share of interactions with homeowners as well. Accusations of damaging stuff that was clearly not damaged by us, issues with customers that have an issue with us using their water. And the story I'm about to tell you happened last week, and it was a first. But before I tell you about this, I did want to let you know that 𝗤𝘂cie is giving away a Ford Ranger, and Southeast Softwash is putting one of their soft wash skids in the back of that truck as part of the giveaway. And at the end of May, one lucky premium or platinum subscriber of 𝗤𝘂cie will be driving home with that truck and that skid, and hopefully putting them both to good use and making a bunch of money. It is on the Apple Store, it is on the Google Play Store, and it does everything that you need to do in order to manage your business from the palm of your hand or your computer. So we do quite a bit of business. Lots of great customers, lots of repeat customers, customers that have been with us for, in some cases, decades. But every once in a while, you'll get one that pops up that you know is going to be a problem. You know they're going to cause issues. There are some telltale signs, questions they ask, concerns that they have that throw up flags. Sometimes we catch them. And there are occasions where we will just walk away from business because I know it's going to be a headache. It's going to be a problem, and it's just not worth the frustration. So the story I'm about to tell, this customer did ask if we brought our own water. And of course, the answer is yes, we do. But I also let them know that we will be hooking up to their water source and filling up as we clean their home. 99.9% of the time, this is not an issue. It's expected. Most people are intelligent enough and they understand that in order to clean their house, we are going to have to use their water. There are no exceptions to this rule. If you've got an issue with it, you can call somebody else because logistically and economically, it doesn't make sense to do it any other way. So in this case, the customer did acknowledge that we were going to be using her water. So really no flags were raised. Also, one of the things that we have included in 𝗤𝘂cie is the ability to put in terms and conditions and or a customer contract, which of course we do. And of course it does state that we're using the homeowner's water. In order to accept this quote and schedule the appointment, they do have to acknowledge it by signing off on the quote electronically. Regardless, the customer was quoted, customer scheduled, we show up. This particular job was a house wash and a driveway cleaning. The house wash was completed first, no issues, equipment running smoothly, everything was coming clean, working quickly, efficiently, and providing amazing results to our wonderful customer. The house was completed and Mac got to work on the driveway. Now, we're running 8-gallon per minute machines, and there are occasions, if we're not managing the water or we're doing a huge driveway, we can outrun the buffer tank. This is a rarity because we have float valves on the tanks that prevent overfilling, which allow us to keep the water source turned on, filling the tanks without wasting the customer's water. So anyway, Mac is surface cleaning, and then he can feel the lack of pressure, no more water. So of course he goes to see what is going on. First thing he checks is the tank, which is bone dry. So of course he's looking for kinks in the hose, any kind of obstruction, and then he makes his way back to the spigot on the house, and it is turned off. So he cuts it back on and has to wait for the tank to start filling up. And this sucks. It's a complete waste of time. It's inefficient because we all know that time is money. And if you're not working, you're not making money. And that is 100% unacceptable. So he has to wait around while the tank is filling up. As it gets to the level where he feels comfortable enough that he can start cleaning again without running it out again, he gets back to work, cranks up the machine, fires up the surface cleaner, and gets to washing. It continues to wash for about 20 minutes, and the same thing happens again. He goes back to the trailer, nothing wrong there, goes back to the spigot, and of course, it is turned off. Now, remember, the customer did ask if we were using their water, and she didn't say anything much after I said that we were. And of course, we do. Mac was unaware of this conversation because it was kind of irrelevant. He's not really interacting with the customer on the front end of the quote, and it wasn't a big enough deal that I thought it was needed to be mentioned. So he turns it back on, he waits a little bit longer, and this time, while he was waiting in the truck, he decided to hop out and walk around the back to double check the spigot. And he saw the customer back there like a deer in headlights, turning off the water for the third time. Now, he said the customer looked like they got caught doing something illegal, right? Almost like a child about to be scorned for something that they were doing wrong, despite the fact that it was their house and it was their water and they were paying us to wash their house, but they knew they were wrong. So Mac asked why she kept turning off the water. And then he explained that if the water runs dry, it can damage the machine. And these machines aren't cheap. And the customer said that they didn't want the water bill to go up. Okay. Mac then explained, which I already did to some degree, that it was part of the process. It was part of the quote. And it's always how we do things. It's just how it works. And that the increase in any kind of water bill was covered by the cost that we had quoted. So he handled it really well. Exactly the script that we tell all of our employees to follow should this question arise. And the customer seemed to be understanding, I guess, and went inside. Mac double checked that the water was on. It was. And he went back to wait a little bit to fill it up. Very frustrated. Obviously, he called me to tell me what was going on. And I told him to go knock on the door and ask the homeowner if they needed me to call them or if they had any other questions. So he was about to go do that. We were still on the phone. And then he said that the homeowner just pulled out of the garage and drove off, waved to him, smiling on the way out. So this was good news. The water bandit had left the building and we did have a lot of time wasted. And I was pretty pissed off, but I also charged quite a bit, which helps to compensate for some of the issues that could arise during a job, which can slow you down. So I told him just to get back to work because we had other jobs to do that day and we didn't want to get further behind. Not 3 minutes later, he sends me a text that they cut the water off before they left. So I told him to pack his shit up and go to the next job. I sent the customer an invoice for the full amount, even though the driveway was only 3/4 of the way done. And surprisingly enough, they paid their bill. I didn't hear a single thing from them. And I don't know if they decided to do it themselves, call another company to finish the job, or probably my guess is they just left it like it was because they are cheap asses. So that is it for today's video. Just a little story that I thought you might enjoy. But the main takeaway here is dealing with cheap customers is like being a clown at a funeral. You're expected to perform miracles with limited resources, and they are definitely not going to appreciate the time and effort that you put in. Ultimately, it's a complete waste of time, which could be better spent on customers who actually value your service and your time. Do not forget to check out 𝗤𝘂cie𝗁𝗲. It's on the Apple Store, it's on the Google Play Store, and we are giving away to a premium or a platinum subscriber a Ford Ranger, and Southeast Soft Wash has so graciously and generously donated a soft wash skid to put in the back of that truck. So one lucky person is going to drive home with a money-making machine. That is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.